who had a study that basically said that in order to be close friends with someone, you have to spend 200 hours with them.
Hated, or if there's a change in friendship dynamic, that doesn't erase the relationship that was there.
But the best friendships that last are the ones that are tested in the no's and the boundaries that you set.
So boundaries are there to protect yourself. So if someone doesn't understand that you're protecting yourself, then do they really care about the friendship?
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Thoughts We Share podcast. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Tinaeshe.
And today we're going to talk about friendships and setting healthy boundaries.
Big topic. Okay, so let's get straight into it.
Yes.
So like Nicole said, we're talking about friendship and boundaries. And just to begin, question first, have you always found it easy to make friends throughout your life? Like from childhood all the way till now?
Well, for me, I think it was so much easier to make friends when I was younger. It was only maybe late high school, college years, and university where it was a bit like. But I think, as everyone says, that the older you get, the more difficult it becomes to maintain or make friends as well.
Definitely. Yeah.
What
I
about
think
you?
for me it was the opposite actually, because I found it difficult to make friends as a kid throughout school and uni. I had a few friends, but it was more of proximity, that we were in the same classes and we just happened to hang out. But those friendships never developed into anything outside of school, outside of uni. So when I moved to the UK, it became different. That became my goal, because from 2019, when I graduated uni, till afterwards, I was just so lonely and I didn't even know where to begin with making friends and just looking for people. I admired people that had friends, to be honest, because I wanted to be that person that had friends to hang out with.
I feel you. I think when we met as well, I was probably one of your few friends that you made.
You were one. One of
probably
two.
the only one out of the two.
And I met both of you like within like 3-4 days apart.
3-4 days apart, yeah. But you've come a long way, because now you're like, you have a few friends, you've made your nice little circle, and you're doing well. So kudos to you.
Yeah. Because I made it my mission. I just made it my mission to, when I came to the UK, I was like, okay, I have a chance to restart my life and develop relationships that I want to.
Yeah.
So I read this book called Sisters of the Yam by Bell Hooks. And in that, she just talked a lot about community and the importance of having friendships and people around you that can build you and you can build them, and how it affects your mental health, how it affects how you carry yourself in this world. And that influenced the intention that I had in making friends. And Nicole and I met through Bumble BFF. So the dating app Bumble has a friend side of it. Yeah. And me and her matched there and we hung out, and it's been sunshine and butterflies since then.
Not the most traditional way to meet.
No.
But definitely. I like that there's platforms like that, actually.
So what has changed for you in making friends as an adult? Because you said it's like something that you've been navigating since you're in high school. It's not like, oh, we're just friends. Like,
I don't know. I just feel like ever since I moved to the UK, it was so much easier for me to make friends when I was back in Zimbabwe. But I feel like sometimes it's just like energy. Sometimes the energy is just not gelling. It's just something's not there. And also coupled with just proximity as well. Like you're not physically near a lot of people, because when I was in university, then some of my college friends were still in Manchester. So it was just kind of hard to find time to meet. And then now it's the other way around. Some of my uni friends are still back, like whether in Leicester or everyone kind of scattered around. And it's just hard to maintain because people are working or people are broke, they're commuting up and down. It's just a nightmare. So it's like one of those things it's very difficult to maintain friendships. But then also, because I've grown a lot more from the last time when I was with my uni friends. So also like the things, compatibilities changed. Also my expectations and friendships has changed. So you're just trying to find new people. Like, I feel like that was like seasonal. I'm trying to find my new circle for where I am right now.
Because I feel like with you do have tons of friends and you have a good way of maintaining them. Like, it might not be a close circle, but you talked to a lot of people. Like just before we started shooting this episode, she was texting someone, and I asked her why she smiled like that, and I was like, "I'm jealous. Do you smile like that when you're texting me?" I was just like, like that's the dynamic that we have. But she also has that dynamic with a lot of people, and I love
Yeah.
that for her. But I'm jealous for me.
No, thank you. Thank you. It wasn't a friend though.
Oops. Okay. So we talked about proximity and the influence of that, but what happens then with long distance friendships? Because we're a long distance friendship now.
Yeah.
Like we became a long distance friendship when you did your masters, and we've maintained that. It's been 2 years now, so 3 years friendship, but then 2 years of this long distance friendship. And I guess we could talk about how we've been able to maintain
that. Yeah. I would say for me, from what I gathered anyway, I was reading The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, and she has a section where she does talk about friendships and why it's difficult, I guess, to make friends when you're older. And she does talk about the proximity, timing, and also energy. And I feel like that played a big part. There was someone in the book who had a study that basically said that in order to be close friends with someone, you have to spend 200 hours with them.
Wow.
So because I think the first year of our friendship, we were within the same vicinity, exactly same city. So we're spending a lot of time together. That by the time I then finally went away, we'd already clocked in that 200 hours for sure. Definitely. Do you know what I mean? And we'd already connected and made that friendship, so the energy was right. We felt like we got on. So now we just kind of had to nurture that moving forward, like make sure we're checking in on each other, make sure that everyone's fine texting. But then it's like you want to already, because you've kind of built that foundation, whereas if we're starting from scratch long distance, I'm sure we would have probably still made it here, but it would have taken so much longer. Exactly, because I have long distance friends, and I don't really see them. I can count the number of times I see them in a year. But then with you, because we already built that, I think I see you almost every other month, really. So I think that's what it was. Yeah. But what's your take?
I think it's the same. Nicole loves calling. So I love calling as well, because it's just
convenient.
It's convenient, to be honest. It's, you just plug in your AirPods and you move around the day. But we moved on to video calls now, actually.
Yeah.
Like the friendship is progressing in different ways. We're finding new ways to connect. And I think that's what has been helpful to maintain the friendship, that we check in on each other. Before, it wasn't every day like it is now. Before, it'd be like once a week, 2 times a week, and then we'll text, send each other memes, TikToks and stuff. But then now it's developed into a daily thing. It's like, oh, how are you? How are things going? What did you eat today? Just silly things. And we're finding it even difficult to get off the phone, because there's so much to talk about, but then there's nothing to talk about at all.
That's actually hilarious. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so our friendship, it's exactly like how, those TikToks where they make fun of people who FaceTime.
Then say nothing.
We'll play with all the tools that FaceTime has, and then we'll talk about drinks, and then we'll talk about food, and we'll talk about a new pimple I found on my body. And it's just like,
we rehash the same conversation 50 times and be like, remember 5 years ago when we first went out for that restaurant and we had turkey?
Yeah.
Just go over and over it.
Over and over. So it's been really nice. I think I have a lot of long distance friends too. Most of my close friends are long distance. And with them, it's very different. There's one we just WhatsApp whenever, and she'll send like paragraphs, like 8-10 paragraphs. She literally just sent some just now, and then I send back my 8-10 paragraphs. And then I have another friend who we don't even text as much unless it's something really urgent or something that's happening to them. So like if it's has something to do with their health or my health, or with their parents, just anything that's like urgent, that needs to be urgently discussed, then definitely. And then our communication at the moment is us responding to TikTok memes and Instagram, and that's how we connect, because we're watching the same thing.
Low maintenance.
Yeah. So it's nice in that way, but different friendships require different things.
Because I think there's some friends, like, they don't mind whether you check in or not. I think I have friends like that way, like we check in every once in a while, and it's not personal. Like sometimes we go for like a whole week without speaking, and when we do speak, it's like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? So I think that's good. Like you just see what works for what. Exactly.
Definitely. Would you say you have love languages in friendship?
And consistency, which obviously is not like a typical love language that we have, like as a
Yeah.
romantically. But I think for me, consistency is the main one. Like I just need someone who's consistent and someone that's considerate. Those are my two main ones. And then obviously kindness and all that stuff and compassion. But really the main one is consistency and considerate. Because I think one of my pet peeves is someone that's not considerate. Like that doesn't quite think of how something they're asking, how it could impact you or something. Or let's say if I'm coming from a night shift and I haven't slept and you want to do breakfast, unless it's maybe like your birthday or something that's really pressing, then I'm probably not gonna do it. And then if you get upset, I'd be kind of confused. Like, okay, well, I understand obviously when I hang out, but I'm tired. Yeah, I'm coming from a night shift, especially if you're going back. There's no time to be, you know what I mean? Before I would have probably cut corners and said, okay, let me just go and I'll just be tired. Then I'm struggling at work and they're catching Z's. They're not even up to even keep me awake. They're like, it's 10 p.m. I'm off to bed. So it's kind of like I just kind of had to be strict with that. This is it. If not, bye. I'm out. Like I'm actually out. Yeah. What about you?
I think it's the same, but then those also draw parallels to the things you require from a romantic relationship as well. Because I think
the same thing.
Yeah, because you also want the same thing in your relationship: consistency and consideration. I think for me, it's also the kindness part of it, which goes into consideration, but how kind are you in relaying difficult information? So like you said right now that you'd say no if, let's say you have a night shift and I say, oh Nicole, let's go hang out, but how are you saying that no?
Exactly.
You know, are you saying, girl, shut up, no?
Bye.
Or like, oh Tina, sorry, I can't do it, I'm sleepy and all. Like how that information is relayed to me is really important because it feels like you also care about me in that situation. Even though you can't do it, you care about my well-being too.
That's so true. Actually, that's very important. Yeah, because you still want them to feel like, okay, I really appreciate that you want us to spend time together. I just can't spend time together this week, but let's see what we can do. Yeah, that's definitely important. That's definitely important. So, what do you think of like setting boundaries in friendships? Because I think it's like one of those things where it's like that's where it starts getting shaky. Because some people like I was listening to this TikTok where they said that like friendships are always great when yes is in the picture. Like it was just yes, sure, no. Amazing. But the best friendships that last are the ones that are tested in the no's and the boundaries that you set. So how are you doing with that, or how are you handling that?
Oh my gosh. So I mean, well, boundaries are like the topic of the year and have been for the past 4 years for me. So I struggle with setting boundaries so much. But recently I've had to say no to going out at night just to protect myself. I don't like the hangover feeling that I get after going out on a night out and drinking so much and then not being able to do things on Sunday. So I've had to tell my friends that I can't go out because it protects me. Boundaries are there to protect myself, right? Yeah. And it's very difficult because that has changed a lot of dynamics with the friends that I have because I can't see them in the capacity that I was before.
Yeah.
But even relaying that information and saying no, it's very difficult to then hear your friends say, oh, come on, Tina, come on. And if, you're out and it's almost midnight, because as I am a Cinderella, my time, 12 p.m., 12 a.m., midnight, I'm out. As soon as it clocks 12, I'm getting out of there. But hearing your friends wanting you to be there and feeling that guilt as well, saying, oh, but I still want to hang out with them. But then I also have to protect myself and thinking about future me and saying, well, I can't commit to that right now. It's quite difficult. So boundaries are so important to protect me, but they're also difficult to say. But the one thing about it is when you relay a boundary to your friend, how they respond is how you see what kind of friendship you guys have and if you still want that person in your life. Someone that respects that boundary says, oh, okay, cool, it's fine, I'll see you next time, in comparison to someone that gets aggressive, or not even aggressive but quite angry or passive aggressive towards you for relaying that boundary, is someone that you actually don't need in your life. Because like I said, boundaries are there to protect yourself. So if someone doesn't understand that you're protecting yourself, then do they really care about the friendship? What about you, the boundaries?
That's so true. I'd say for me, obviously like you mentioned earlier that boundaries are so important, because I feel like with boundaries, that's how you set like a tone for your friendship and how healthy your friendship is going to be. And I always encourage that setting boundaries from early
It's
is
important.
better than like later on, because it's just kind of easier to navigate that this is what our friendship looks like. And I'd also say that like you're protecting your peace, you're protecting your time, you're protecting your energy. So as for me now, before I used to feel bad, but I genuinely don't feel bad at all. And I feel like in order for me to be able to show up as a friend, I need to be able to do that freely as well and feel comfortable. So I'm also kind of in the same boat as Tinashe.
Yeah.
She likes to be home early. I like to be home early. Like for me, 10 p.m., I think even 9, I don't mind. Like I like going out during the day when it's light. If I'm gonna have dinner, I wanna have dinner at 5, 6. Like I wanna be out of there by 8. Like I wanna be on my way home. And a lot of friendships before, like when we used to go out together, because some of my friends now, like at my university friends, so first year uni, second year of uni, like we were all going out,
Club,
so exactly, we're on the club together, we're in the club, and we're all friends. So so we used to go out, and now it's like that's when you start to realize that not all friendships like are lifelong, because you start to see the different types of friendships you have. So you've got the seasonal, and then you have the situational. So seasonal is like the friends I met in uni and the things that we used to do, and then situational, like for example, like you meet at the gym, your friendship is just at the gym, you don't speak outside the gym. So now like once you build a boundary where like all the places you met, like what, like at the club or at the gym, if I don't go to the gym anymore, if I don't go to the club anymore, where's our friendship going to be? It's not going to work. So I think it's also important that like when you look at setting boundaries, as to seeing that, because even in romantic relationship or any kind of relationship, sometimes it requires compromise and shifting. Like it can't be the same thing for the rest of your life, because you want to be with friends that are able to step up to where you are at that moment. So if they know that, okay, well, Nicole's not really into clubbing because she's on this journey, they can obviously still continue clubbing and doing whatever it is that they want, but then also trying to accommodate what I like now. I'm sure everyone likes to eat, so I like to eat, so let's go to eat. So sometimes like these boundaries now, I have fewer friends, because they don't want to do anything I want to do. Me, I want to sit, relax, constructive stuff, and go home. I don't want to party. I don't want to get drunk. I don't want to do shots. I don't want to down anything. I just want to relax. So yeah, that's the thing about setting boundaries. Sometimes you just have to lose a few on the way.
Yeah, and I think that's it's okay. I'm sure when you're listening to Nicole say this, it seems like it's an easy thing to just say to your friend,
it's heartbreaking.
Like, yeah, bye. But like making that comparison to a relationship, a romantic relationship, that it's hard to let go of something that has been there, that constant in whatever capacity. So even if it's a gym partner and you know that relationship has changed or shifted or it's non-existent, letting go of that thing is painful. You know, you still have to grieve that and understand that okay, things have changed, and accept that things have changed and try and move on. But that doesn't erase the memories that were created, or if there's a change in friendship dynamic, that doesn't erase the relationship that was there. But you have to find where it how that is beneficial for you, you know, because like Nicole is saying, those boundaries are to protect your own peace. You know, are you going to kill yourself just because you want to keep that friendship alive, or do you want to feed that friendship from a full cup?
Yeah,
you know, because if when you see that you're now breaking your own boundaries, you're filling from an empty cup, because you always feel bad. It's like asking your friend for money that they owe you, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, that's even hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. You know, it's not easy, because you're now thinking of many things. You know, the thought is like, oh, but why are they doing that? And then you think about their situation and you feel empathy and compassion for them. And then you look at your bank account and you need it as well. And it's like, how do I balance that? How do I communicate that? What do I do? And you're now questioning yourself. And that's the thing about when you break your own boundary, it sticks on your mind and it's replaying. You'll be ruminating on that thing for a long time. But you need to find that balance of saying, okay, if this person cares about me, they'll communicate, which is the expectations you're talking about. I'm a friend that likes to communicate. I want them to communicate back to me. Are they doing that? No. Okay, that means boundary has to be discussed. You know, and that's how relationships are developed anyway.
Yeah, I like that, to be fair. And to add on to what you just said, that like obviously like the reason why I always stress like healthy boundaries is because the longer you don't like stick to what what your
Yeah,
expectations are. That then sips into people pleasing. That's where people pleasing
definitely.
comes in, because you know you don't want to be in that place, but you're feeling bad and you
You
feel
feel
like, okay, I have to be
guilty.
there. And now you're people pleasing and doing a disservice to yourself. And I feel like one thing that's to be expected, which is really painful, especially if you cherish a friendship, is that sometimes by expressing your boundary, it means that friendship has to end, because then you don't have anything in common anymore. Maybe like they don't want to do the things that you
That
want
you
to do.
do.
It's very painful, especially like when you want it to work. Sometimes it's not like they say, well, the friendship is over, but it's like then you're not being invited to things anymore, because obviously all they're doing is going to the place that you said you don't want to go. So naturally, because you're not communicating like before the hours that you have to clock in, it just, the
It's
proximity, it just becomes, even if you're in the same place, it just becomes to be
more
less and
distant.
less and less. Now it's
Yeah.
like you're speaking once a month, then after that once every 2 months, or after that release now, hey, how you been? And then
Yeah.
it's just kind of changed, but that gives room for new friendships, which is what like I'm learning to embrace.
It does make room for new friendships. Just like same example with breakups in romantic relationships, that even though it's sad, it doesn't mean that you won't meet other people that
Mm-hmm.
will fulfill that need for you, and I think that's the thing about like not knowing or anticipating a bad future, or sticking to something that you dislike because you feel like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, but she's a nice person, and she's a nice friend, she's good, no, no, whereas you feel uncomfortable, you feel like, if I let go of this, then what will I have? And you're
Mm-hmm.
scared of the loneliness and uncomfortable feelings and all.
Mm-hmm.
But uncomfortable feelings always lead to change, they always lead to growth, which is really, you can't grow when you're comfortable, really.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly.
mm,
Exactly. That's true.
mm.
That's true.
um and then romanticizing your friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What does that look like to you?
For me, well, I like sending positive messages to my friends. I like telling them I'm proud of them and encouraging them, and just what's the love language? Words of affirmation.
What's amazing?
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
because
yes.
I see my friends as these amazing beings, especially Nicole. I love Nicole so much. And like when my friends do things that are scary for them, and they they just do it despite that scariness, or
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
go for something that they've always been talking about, or or they're just feeling sad, or even them just being happy and just existing as human beings, as people do.
Exactly.
I feel so proud to call them my friend, but I also
Mm-hmm.
feel proud of them as just a human being,
Mm-hmm.
that you're living in this existence. And I want to tell them. I just want to tell them every day. I just want to say, "Hey, bro, like I'm so proud of you. Da, 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 da. You're so great. Have a great day." And it makes me feel great because I know such an amazing
I
person.
love
But I
that.
know it also makes them feel great because like you need you need to hear those things from time to time, like, and
Mm-hmm.
to remember how other people view you, because like it reaffirms to yourself as well that
Yeah.
you are exceptional and
Mm-hmm.
you're doing good in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I guess when you said this earlier, I didn't even know like what do I, because I'm not quite sure what I do. I know that I do my best to encourage and be there for my friends and be there to listen, but whether that's consistent, I'm not sure.
I think
Do
you
you know what I
are.
mean?
Yeah.
I think it's consistent with the people that I'm in consistent communication with, I think. Or people that not necessarily like I speak to every day, but like I constantly have that, the people I have a friendship with. I think I can be consistent in that regard. But I think also when you're stepping out of friendships, or if you're not having something in common, sometimes, so I feel like some of my friends still think we're close, but really not. So I'm sure they're just thinking, why is this girl not checking on me? But for me, like that friendship's that where it was is kind of,
It's gone.
so I'm
Yeah.
not really like checking in as much. I check in like obviously once in a while, but I'm not checking in as much and doing the affirmations, because I don't even know what's going on. I don't know that you passed your test yesterday. So I don't know.
I think, okay. So what, from what I've observed of you, even just yesterday, your friend was having an event. It's not like you guys are close friends or anything. I'm not sure. I don't know if
Well,
you
yeah,
guys talk
we're not.
every
Yeah, true,
day,
true,
but
true.
because you've talked about this event before, and he mentioned it's you, like you guys were on a call, and he was nervous, and he was like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna, I'm not sure, he was just feeling some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, no, I think you're gonna do great, let's see what you bought. And then he showed her the stuff, and it was looking good, and she was like, you're gonna do fine, and even gave him tips on how to even improve this event,
Mm-hmm.
you know when consulta.
Consulted.
Consultation.
I do
Yeah.
everything but give consults, but do my own thing. Dololo, I'm
You
not
don't do,
there.
but you do other things. But anyway, that's not the topic of the day. But yeah, that despite the proximity or the type of friendship that you have, that you are still encouraging, you're still kind, you're still willing to listen. I think that's one of your greatest gifts. You're really good at listening to people and offering support, and how you speak is also really like great.
Yeah.
You have a powerful tongue.
Thank
And
you.
people listen to what you have to say. They trust your opinion, they trust your wisdom, they trust your authority, and just how you are as a human being.
Yeah.
So I think you're really great at that.
I guess sometimes you don't even realize. Maybe you don't know what the word is, how to put your that into words. So I guess that's my version.
You're very supportive, very kind as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I think what you mentioned about the reciprocity, that sometimes friendships can then move around this hierarchy scale just because of things that happened. Do you feel like it's because of a reciprocity thing that
yes, because I think for a long time I would break my back for friendships. Like, if it meant I'm not sleeping today to be there for my friend, like I would do that. If it meant that I'm doing a cross country around the whole UK for my friend, I would do that. And I would still do that, but I think I'm very careful about who I do it for. And because I think for me, like, I just like to do it for my friends, I would do it for me as well. Like, I want it to be like, what you're pouring into me as much as I'm pouring into you. And I don't pour in expectation that I want you to do the exact same things, but I feel like friendships, you pour in different capacities. Maybe someone can pour into me positive affirmation, and then someone can pour into you like tips on how to get a job. Like, people pour in a different way, but sometimes, like, in some friendships, you start to notice that you're the only one that's constantly pouring, or the only person that's intentional and listening and whatever. Because some friends, they can come and pour their hearts out to you, and then that's it, they're done, goodbye. They didn't even wait to hear like, are you okay, are you fine? So next time you try and call me, I'm already dreading speaking to you, because I know that like you're just going to speak about your life, and then you're not even going to ask me. Maybe I'm even having a bad day, you won't even notice, because you're so stuck into like what you have to say for yourself. So I'm very careful with those kind of friendships. I want to have a circle, I have a very, very small circle, but I feel like I want to have people that pour into me as much as I pour into them. And that's what's changed, because I feel like, because I've poured for so long, some of them, like, obviously because I've pulled back, then they're like, oh my God, what's going on? But I'm just like,
an expectation.
Yes, but I'm like, I'm you right now. I'm basically pouring as much as you're pouring into me. So it's kind of like for them, like, oh wow, I didn't realize this was the case. But sometimes I think friendships, they need that little kick, because when you're trying to say to someone, hey, they don't be getting it, or they be taking their time. I know me myself, you probably have to say things 50 times before I probably like really like sink in. I think sometimes it takes seeing that it's at the trenches to really realize, oh, this is really bothering you. Because I feel like sometimes when you say things to friends, like, they are not really grasping how bothered you are. They start to grasp it when they see you're pulling back. I don't know why that's the case, why we can't just grasp it the moment someone says, I don't like this. I don't know why you just don't get on it. But that happens though.
It does happen. I feel, I think what you said earlier about communicating it from the beginning, or maybe communicating it when you
feel it,
that, calling it out and saying, hey bro, like, you didn't listen to me earlier today when I was trying to tell you something, or, oh, I'm busy, I can't listen to you right now, can we talk later? I think sometimes, like, it's hard to, it goes back to the boundaries anyway, it's hard to communicate a bad feeling, and maybe sometimes even in the situation you might not even know what you're feeling until you processed it for a bit, and like, oh, Nicole didn't listen to me today and I need to let her know. It's quite hard. I know what you mean. I actually know what you mean.
I'm actually practicing English speaking, because before, like, now I'm having anxiety to tell you that you're being a bad friend. So I'm having anxiety of like, oh my God, am I going to tell this person? And I'm sitting on it for weeks, but it's like, then the more I sit on it, then now I'm angry. I'm just angry. I'm dreading, like, when you call me, I'm just like, ugh.
And then it leads to resentment as well, because one thing you don't want to do is hate your friends, but then it's very important to communicate. But like you're saying, once you communicate that thing
from the beginning,
and then you let them know. So how they respond to you is also very important, because having that communication means you still want that friendship to
Friendship.
exist.
Mm-hmm.
But if another person responds in a way that doesn't feel like you are safe, or you feel like you're being listened to or accepted in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
it's time to also reevaluate, or maybe have another conversation and say, look, I didn't like how the conversation went. How can things go? But then on the side of being the friend that usually I say things to people and they don't take me seriously, because I'm a big time jokester, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes like 10, 20 times for me to
Gonna be like, hey.
yeah. And then when that happens, that's when people are now scrambling to try and fix the relationship. And that's difficult for me as the other side of the friend, because it's like I've been crying for 10 months now,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't feel listened to. How do you navigate that?
Yeah.
For me personally, I might just want to cut people off. I won't lie.
Mm-hmm.
I won't lie, because I feel at the back of my mind, I always have this thing that says, you are still yet to meet the people that are going to make your life, the rest of your life, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like, okay, if this is not working, then tomorrow I can bump into someone that's going to change my life and move on and move on. But then for other people, they still value that friendship and they want to fix those things,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about having those uncomfortable conversations and talking
And
about
they're so
it, and the back and
uncomfortable.
forth and the tears, and it's like the maintenance of the relationship, which goes into the next point of friends being an inconvenience
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, both good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how maintaining your relationships or your friendships can be an inconvenience for you. So small time, like just on a regular basis, it would be if I want to run errands today and I call Nicole and say, oh, Nicole, let's go to the mall, let's go run errands and stuff. The inconvenience for Nicole would be that she's leaving her house, or she has to make her way to town and get on the bus and use her £2 to pay for the bus and all of that. But it's a necessary inconvenience because we both want to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sacrifice, but it's not a sacrifice that is now choking your neck here and saying,
Mm-hmm.
why am I doing it? Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the other inconveniences that come up is having those difficult conversations, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Nicole, our friendship is on the rocks. Now we have to talk for 5 hours.
And trying to get it back to where it was. Now you have 5 hours of talking and crying and feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I guess the most realistic one example I can give between our friendship is I like my room a certain way. So that's
Oh
my
my gosh.
that's my inconvenience, and I bite my tongue. Like,
and I see her biting her tongue.
it's so bad because I'm learning how to kind of let go a little bit. I'm trying to learn how to just be like, just leave it. But I actually think for me, it's just been so drained in embedded in me since a young age because
Your
my
family
family is
is
like
like
that.
that.
So I don't know. It makes me feel like
Mm.
so my face is like, but I'm trying now. Actually, I try my best. I think I'm doing a better job at hiding it.
You're not hiding it.
Lala.
I'm actually. That's too funny. She's not hiding anything. But then
That's still at least I'm trying. Yeah.
Yeah, but we had to have an uncomfortable conversation today because a few weeks ago I said to her, I don't think we can live together. And she asked
And we
me
always talked
today.
about living together.
Yeah, because we get along so well. Like, I don't mind spending as much time with Nicole, yeah. But basically I saw, like, I did something and then she corrected it, the thing that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that she did that, but she didn't think I saw her, but I did. So I was like, if we now lived in the same house, I would die.
Yeah.
She would die too.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't be able to find that balance of her not wanting to fix everything that I leave behind and me feeling like,
Some
well,
type of
I'm
way
just so
someone's
messy.
fixing.
Yeah, even though I'm not
me.
even a messy person.
No.
But in comparison to how you want your things,
Mm-hmm.
I'm messy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you kind of like chill. Whereas me, I like
chill.
things at a specific spot, and then how I like to fold my clothes, they're all in order of height and whatever. So I think that would stress me out for sure. But yeah, it was actually heartbreaking, but it's fine. I understand. I feel like sometimes it's better because imagine if we stay together, we'll probably leave that place resenting each other. Like, I can't never live with this person ever again. Where did I find her? Yeah. But that's good. That's good that we had that uncomfortable conversation. It was good. It's good. Anyway, we can always visit. It's good when we visit because we visit each other 2-3 days.
Yeah, and it's nice. Yeah, we just sleepovers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's nice. But I guess back to the inconvenience thing, that friendships are there to inconvenience your life. in a positive way, and you need to be ready for those things,
Mm-hmm.
because to maintain a relationship you actually have to get out of your way to
Mm-hmm.
do things.
Mm-hmm.
What does my friend like? Nicole likes wholesome, homely activities, so that I know that when we're doing those things, we're doing them together. I need to do those things. Well, I like
Mm-hmm.
those things too,
Yeah.
but like, and then I have other friends that like things that are a bit more sporty and stuff, and I have to get out of my way to go and do those things
Mm-hmm.
to the capacity that I can, and
Exactly.
etc. etc. etc.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like how in a relationship, like most men, they like watching football and you end up watching football. Well, personally for me, I end up just because if you like it, then sure, I'll try and watch it. So it's the same thing with your friend. It's like even though I don't like sports, but then because I know you like sports so much, I'll show up. Like my friends like games night. There's nothing I hate more than a games night. I hate it. I hate it. I hate that
I love a
games
games night
night.
so bad.
But because I know they like games night, I'll play. But in my heart, I'm so bored. I just want to go home. But I'll be trying. I'll be trying. And I always get so happy when I lose. Then I know I
Oh my
can sit out.
gosh.
I'm so happy when I lose. I'm like, you go ahead. Let me watch you. But I enjoy watching. I enjoy
Yeah.
being in the room whilst my friends are doing the game night. I don't mind like sitting it out and just being in the room. But it's not for me. So that's my inconvenience. Like I just sit there and just do the game. But really and truly, I don't want any parts of that game.
I love a games night.
I know.
I
I hate it. I hate it.
It's fine though, but that's what friendship is about, because you're not going to find people that are exactly the same as you,
Exactly.
and the people like different things. Like for me, I go to concerts on my own because I know my music that I like, and my friends don't like concerts. They don't like being in those places. They don't even listen. We don't even listen to the same music at all. So we don't associate. That's my own like solo time. So it's about navigating that as well. What's still for you, because you still need your personal space as a friend.
Yeah.
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 You still need that personal space.
That's so true. Actually, that's true.
So how do you communicate to your friends?
I just text them, to be fair. It just depends what kind of friend it is. I think if I'm pretty comfortable, maybe if it's you, I can say to you in person. Like I don't feel uncomfortable. But then some friends, like I'm actually like having like a whole anxiety attack. So I have to say it on text message, and then we kind of break it down from there and stuff like that. But I think it's just so important to just say now. I have to say it because I know what it feels like not to say what's bothering you. So sometimes I might not say it there and there, but I know that if like soon I need to say it, and if I can't say it like in person or on the phone, I'll text and be like, you know what, I feel this and tap away and whatever, and then maybe they can respond back and then we go back and forth. So by the time we speak in person, it's kind of like that little big cloud's kind of been lifted off. It's kind of cash. Or even when they call me like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way, because already their energy is coming across like they're empathetic. Even me, I don't feel uncomfortable. Like I know, but it's okay, and not because I know you didn't feel that way. So that's how I communicate anyway. What about you?
I struggle with communication anyway, so I rarely say, even to you, I don't say anything. Yeah.
Shame.
I just really struggle with it a lot. So it will take like weeks and months, or I'll say it in a jokeful way. I'll be like, Nicole. And then I'll say whatever thing it is that, you left your key on my dresser yesterday. And then we'll laugh about it. But in my heart, I'm like, that's actually like, that was so hard for me to say. Yeah, it was not annoying, but like, why did she do that? And I feel quite, I feel hurt and victimized by whatever it is. And I'll be saying it in a jokeful way. And then if Nicole keeps leaving her keys on the dresser, then I'm like, Nicole hates me. And then it's like,
because we're laughing. I think sometimes it's so hard to associate something so serious with something that's loving. Maybe you should be like, don't we do that again? I think if you leave it there, then you kind of get it. But if you just say you left your key on the dresser, I'm like, I know, right? And go leave it again. Go leave it again. You have to be kind of firm. Bless. That's so crazy.
It's something that I'm learning, because Nicole, well, I don't know if she knew she was having a hard conversation with me then, but I'd said something and then she didn't like it, and then she came and told me, and the approach that she said it to me in was very empathetic and very kind and compassionate, and from that point forward it just inspired me to be the same. So any hard conversation, even if it's with my family, I'm like, okay, in this situation, what would Nicole say? How would Nicole carry it? Because Nicole is very compassionate. She's quite soft with how she tackles a hard situation. She's not aggressive, like in your face, like she's very like, oh Tina, like earlier today you did this and this, and it made me feel sad, it made me feel this, but like I still love you. It's just so sweet. And
And I think that's why a friendship works because we're both
Yeah.
kind of the same person. I think my PTSD, someone's like saying something and they're
And
yelling
that's
at me,
yeah.
it kind of makes me like uncomfortable and unsafe. So I think the tone and how you speak to your friends, because you don't want, because already they're gonna feel bad. Because I know I would be already feeling bad that I've done something. But I think to soften the blow, the way they approach the situation, I always feel so much better. I'm not feeling like I can feel maybe sometimes because you're human, you can feel uncomfortable, but you're not like feeling like super awkward. Like, oh my god, I want to leave this
Yeah.
room.
Really
How am I gonna look at
hide.
her? Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? I can
Yeah.
still
Like,
continue like,
oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, so it's really important how you communicate things because, like, yes, your friends owe you, their kindness, compassion, and all these beautiful things, but you also owe your friends the
friends,
same,
be a friend as
yeah,
well.
decency, how you communicate hard things, or when you have to disappoint them or say no to them. Are you saying it like, no, what do you think? Of course I'm not going to go to that. Or you're saying
Mm-hmm.
it like, oh, I'm so sorry I'm disappointing you, but can we do it another day? Can we,
Time.
reschedule and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
to
love
make them
that.
feel better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Always goes a long way, to be fair.
Mm,
Always goes a long way. So
mm,
what kind of friendships like are you looking for? Because I know for myself that I wanted more intentional friends, more
yeah.
kind friends, and more compassionate friends.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned obviously consistency, punctuality as well.
Oh,
Ish,
that's a
guys,
big one
this
for you,
year
isn't
it's
it?
it's a very very
Yeah.
big one. This year I'm trying to just respect my time and respect another person's time. I've always been a punctual person, really. To be fair, I can run maybe 10 minutes late sometimes because of the bus, but in general, it's my core. I'm on time because I run my things on time. So if it means
Mm,
I'm getting on 2 hours to get ready, so I want friends that are like intentional with that, like knowing that okay, well, if we're gonna meet up at 4, let's try to be there for 4. Okay, you can anticipate traffic 10 to 15 minutes, like that's beyond your control. But rather than like taking your time, if you know that you take 2 hours to get ready, why are you starting to get ready to like an
yeah.
hour and a half
3
when you
hours
have 1 hour
before.
and a half before the event when you know you actually take 2 hours. So it's just those friends that can like think that like okay, Nicole doesn't like someone that's
Their
late. To be fair, I
consideration.
think just being late in general is not really like a good trait that anyone should be proud of. I think it's a nice thing to want to be punctual, not even just in friendships, because just in anything, work, whatever, you just want to be punctual. So I think having friends that are intentional and kind and
Mm,
understanding, listening, like what you're saying, like they
mm,
can say what they want to say in a kind way. Those are the type of friendships that I'm trying to cultivate this year, and that's what I'm going for, and that's what I'm sticking by. I feel like I'm trying to minimize like the toxicity, actually non-toxicity. I don't even want toxicity. Like I'm just trying to be very strict in terms of what kind of friendships I have, because time, like you know what I mean. Like one day, I'm not today
yeah.
the 16th of February is never going to be the 16th of February
Again,
again.
yeah.
I'm never going to be
You
16th of
want to
February
value
25.
it and
Exactly. I'm
really
trying to be
be in
valuable.
it.
So
Yeah.
I kind of have to be strict. And I know sometimes it might seem a bit harsh, but I think when we've spoken and agreed, because I'm not going to just be harsh and be going when
Mm,
we've spoken and agreed. So, I don't like time. Let's do this. Let's do this. Be kind. I don't like the way you speak to me. And then you keep speaking to me this way and you still keep showing up late. Then I'm sorry. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you're my
mm,
kind of gal. You can be my kind of girl, like from a distance where we bump into each other at an event where there's
yeah.
no
Just say
time.
hi,
I
hi.
catch you on my way out to
Mm,
the museum. That's fine.
mm,
But if you want to be my close friend, that's the characteristics of friends. Like that, my non-negotiables, the same you'd have in any kind of relationship. So
mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I'm not too strict about time, but I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get it because that's your time, bro. And you
Mm-hmm.
could be doing something else or just that consideration. Just say
Yeah.
someone you made plans. For me, the type of friends I'm looking for is someone that understands that I am uncomfortable and I can't be in that space or I can't instead of it being like, oh, come on, that whole thing of like, come on, it's not even that serious. People that don't take you seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
say something or you're doing something, you're expressing your discomfort, and they're like, come on, come on. When you don't have a drink and then your friends keep saying, take it, take it, take it, take it, take
Hey,
it.
don't be
Peer
boring.
pressure in your 20s, guys, let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we need to really say goodbye to that because we're not on that. So people who do that I don't really want to associate with. It's like if Tina doesn't drink or she's not drinking today, let's not force drinks down her throat,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's not make them feel bad by saying they're boring and saying,
Yes,
"Oh, that's why we
yes.
don't go out with
Yeah,
you."
shaming them.
Exactly, for
Yeah,
not wanting to do that. Yeah.
yeah. So that one is a big no-no for me. I want friends that are intentional about how they interact with me.
Mm.
Like if you are struggling with something in the friendship or feeling like okay, let's say for example, if I feel like I'm relying on you a lot on the emotional side, like I'm always calling you every time I go through something, then and I feel some type of, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm using Nicole as my therapist, and I have this whole dialogue about it with myself. I should at least communicate to Nicole and say, oh, I noticed this about myself. I'm gonna just reduce, yeah, or maybe let's hang out in different ways so that I don't talk a lot about this, you know. So that accountability and that communication to say I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I want to change that. I want to change that friendship dynamic, and having it with that person. Yeah, just talk to me. I understand.
Yeah,
You know, I want
yeah.
friends that communicate changes. I also want friendships that can accommodate different types of things. So like you were saying that you don't like games night. I'm not going to invite you every day to games night just because I like a games night. You know, how figuring out what your friends like. You know, are you taking the time to see them, to date them, to see how they interact in the world? What do they like? What do they dislike? How you want to experience the world with them, you know. Yeah, if today I love reading, I could talk to Nicole about the fiction books that I read. She doesn't read fiction books that much, but I could tell her like, oh, I read this crazy book that was about women doing what. We can have a discussion about it because, you know, we're
You're my friend.
bonding, you
Yeah,
know, and
you're my
she can talk
friend.
about what she's doing with me, and just like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think friendship is about selflessness, really, to be fair. Because, like you're saying, I've never really read a fictional book, but because I know it's something that you're excited about it, and I want to know why you're
Yeah,
excited. I think sometimes it's just that
the
curiosity
curiosity.
that
Yeah,
you should have with your friends, like wanting to know, okay, what's new? What are you getting up to? Even if you don't even get it, like obviously, like you're a creative. I just know creatives from listening. When it's already the finished
yeah,
product, I don't know anything about what you guys go through and stuff like that. But obviously, because you're my friend and you go through these stuff, I take a time to listen. So now when you're saying it, I'm not confused because I kind of have an idea. So it's that level of curiosity. Am I gonna need
yeah,
it for myself? Probably not because I'm not really creative. But like it's just nice to listen in whatever
yeah.
capacity and just be there for your friend rather than like what you're saying, just doing games night, like focusing on what you like
On
all the time. Let's book
yourself.
me, me,
Yeah.
me, 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 me.
No,
Obviously, you don't even like bowling after your trauma, so we don't even talk about bowling anymore. I don't even think
never.
about it. I leave it. So, and now I know, like, okay, no bowling, no bowling. So it's
Yeah,
like that care for your
yeah,
friends and that okay, I'm gonna
yeah. Are you
compromise this
thinking
for my
about
friend.
them?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So here's some tips on how to maintain your friendships and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just be a friend in your 20s.
Yes. From what I've said today, I think it's normal to just like recognize when it's time to let go of some friendships, and that's fine. Like friendships, some are lifelong friends, like they're gonna be with you for the rest of your life, and some friendships like they're seasonal and some are
Mm,
situational, and that's okay. Like people come and go, and I think sometimes like it's when they go, when it's a friendship that you wanted, or maybe you could see that it was going anywhere and it's still like painful, just like taking time to just accept that it's okay,
yeah.
because that leaves room for new friendships to build, and just accepting that this part is time to go, because some of your friends that you met like in primary school, like maybe you speak to one or two and there was 30 people that you
Yeah.
knew, so that's fine, but then that created room for the friends that you made at uni, friends you're going to make in the street when a night
Yeah.
out and stuff like that, and just being like fine with that, because that's just like a life journey and not taking
Yeah.
it too hard.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think to also add on to that is how you make friends and how to make friends.
Mm-hmm.
That when you set that intention of that I want to make, that's what I did anyway, that I want to make friends, you have to understand that you need to be inconvenience for them. You have to have that
Mm-hmm.
selflessness to open your mind to the fact that you can make friends, and accommodating their needs as well as yours, and
Mm-hmm.
finding the bridge in between and
Mm-hmm.
developing those relationships that
Yeah.
the ones that matter to you, that even though some can fall apart, but the relationships that matter to you, that you have to care for and nurture for, just like you would in the family, just like you would if you were dating someone. It's all equal.
Yeah.
It's all relationships, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Sure.
Yeah. And then another one is to give love, instead of it being like I like games night, so
Mm-hmm.
we're going to games night
Right.
every week.
Mm-hmm.
I like eating, so we're going to eat Japanese food every day.
Mm-hmm.
That it's not always about you. How are
Mm-hmm.
you giving to that next person? Your
Yeah.
friends like flowers, maybe buy her flowers one day or chocolate or whatever, and make
Mm-hmm.
her feel special in that
Mm-hmm.
regard. And then the same will come back to you.
To you.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. I like that. And I'd also say that, like we mentioned this earlier, just trying to be the friend that you want sometimes. I think that also means to what you just said right now. Like, also be a good friend. Mimic it 1st. Sometimes, we look so much to what the other friend is doing, but then I think it's also nice to see, how can I do better? Am I showing up for my friend? Am I being a good friend? Like, being honest with yourself. Where can I improve? Maybe I could check on my friends a bit more. Like, be a friend first, and then obviously that they will be a friend to you. Sometimes they end up saying, "Oh wow, I wanna be a bit like this. I wanna listen more. I wanna care more," because they see you doing it, so they naturally want to do that for you because they care about you. So that's one of them as well.
Definitely. And then big one is boundaries, which is, I think, the hugest one we talked about today. Was just think about the times that you are uncomfortable in a situation, and that will tell you where to set the boundary with your friends or any relationship that you have. So if that's being pressurized into drinking when you don't want to drink, or doing something you don't want to do, or anything really, think about that first, and how can you protect yourself in that regard.
And the friends that love you will always support you. Even if they want you to stay, they'll still like support and respect, because obviously friendship is about mutual respect, just respecting that this person wants to go home. So you shouldn't feel uncomfortable or scared to tell your friends that you want to go, or feel like, I can't say this or else maybe they'll unfriend me. The only people that will unfriend you are not like your friends. Like, they're not your people. So your people will always just respect those boundaries that you're setting for yourself.
So that was a topic on friendships, relationships, and how to keep them. Once again, I'm Tinaeshe.
And I'm Nicole.
And thank you for watching Thoughts We Share podcast.
Bye.